21 minutes past 6 is the time. It's me, James Max, here on TalkTV. In the studio with me is Paul Britton, leading criminal defence lawyer. We've been having a jolly good old gossip. Meanwhile, we must turn our attention back to the excitement that is the papers and the stories within. Strike laws. They're in today's Times newspaper.
They are, on the front page, down the column on the right-hand side, and how the government are proposing to change the strike laws to prevent people from striking. If you do strike and you don't commit to a minimum service level, that's staff operating trains or undertaking activities in the NHS, if you don't commit to that, then it could be an illegal strike, and then the employer could dismiss those members of staff.
The government seems to be spending more time on strike legislation than they do on actually solving the problems that we've got, which is, everybody knows that the cost of living crisis is significant and major, and people need to have pay deals and various things in order to sort out where they are. They should be trying to sort out the strike, shouldn't they?
Well, I don't think they're not trying to sort out the strikes. I just think some of the demands by the unions are pretty extravagant. 20% pay increases. I don't think anyone in the private sector is getting increases like that, and I don't think the public sector should be getting those sort of pay rises either. They shouldn't.
I mean, look, I understand the NHS and nurses and various people in that situation, in the sense that productivity is not necessarily something they can improve and one has to come up with pay deals. But when it comes to the railways, just have a look at history as to how many industries the unions have ruined over time because they asked for too much.
Well, I mean, I agree with that, and I think in the Sun today, on page 9, I think it was, there's a bit about the train strikes, the train drivers that are striking, that now they have lost more pay than they would get if they get the deal that they're asking for.
Right. Now let's turn our attention back to our conversation about Rishi Sunak. He's asked us to judge him on results. Royston has been patiently waiting in Blackburn. Royston, morning.
Morning, James.
Morning, Royston. So, tell me, about Rishi Sunak and his plans. Judge him on results. Let's give him an interim review. How's he doing?
I think he's doing all right, really, because, like, I mean, he used to work with Boris Johnson and everything like that.
Yeah, he stabbed Boris Johnson in the front and then got rid of him.
Yeah, but, I mean, like, Rishi Sunak came in as Prime Minister. Well, he's the governor and everything like that kind of stuff, so it's up to him, you see.
But he's given this 5-point plan. He's not given us any detail on how he's going to do it.
No. The thing is, the point is, well, what I'm trying to say is detaxation of tax, make it at the same level as insurance for the workers. In 1978, when the recession was going on, I do remember that. I was only 12-year-old. They got a pay rise, but some of the people that's after this pay rise, like you stated, they're asking for too much and everything like that. What I'd do is, I'd sort of like say to them, yeah, I'll give you 7%, and that's it, you know. And
what if they don't accept it?
Well, they should do. I mean, like, you've got NHS or whichever it is.
And also, where's he going to get the money from to do it, Royston?
From the taxpayer, I suppose.
Okay, oh good, let's have more tax. Royston, I'm not sure necessarily that's going to solve the problems, but thanks for your call. Meanwhile, let's go back to the papers. Meghan and Harry, what have they been doing now?
Well, there's several stories, aren't there? There's the big story that William apparently attacked Harry.
Yeah, Prince Harry reportedly claims he was physically attacked by his brother. You see, here's the thing, though. In a leaked extract of this book, so he says that the Prince of Wales grabbed his brother, ripped his necklace before knocking him to the floor. Harry goes on to claim that William had called his American actress difficult, rude and abrasive. So Harry's saying kind of, he explains the consequence, but he never explains, well, what did he do to provoke his brother? I mean, for William to do that, he must have been annoyed.
Well, if William did do that at all, I mean, we haven't heard from William yet. It could just be another one of these allegations. But
I think this allegation is so clear that I think it's going to be hard to argue away from it. It's pretty shocking, to be honest. I mean, I've had rows and discussions with my brothers over the years, and you know, as small children, we may have, you know, had play fights, with sticks, and then ended up getting a few injuries and bits and pieces. Nothing like this, certainly not as adults.
But this story's coming out in the same week where Harry has said that he wants his father and his brother back. It just,
it's not happening after this.
Belief. No, it's mixed messages from Harry and Meghan. They say one thing and then do another. And
you see, my issue here is that if William did call Meghan Markle difficult, rude, and abrasive, why is Harry not addressing why he did that? Because until or unless you get to the bottom as to why he thinks that, that's a disaster. Meanwhile, let's go to the Sun. Electric vehicles.
Electric vehicles are apparently going to be the Betamax of transport.
Oh.
Their carbon footprint, the CO2 they produce in production is 75% higher than the normal.
So what's the alternative?
I don't know what the alternative is.
Okay, then just finally, we just need to talk about across the living war. The Sun newspaper, who's fighting who?
Greggs and Pret are fighting over sandwiches, over the cost of lunch.
Right.
$2.99 apparently for a sandwich now in Pret to compete with. How to get a cheap sandwich if you're really struggling. Make it yourself. Yeah. Well, which do you prefer, James?
Meanwhile, good news though. Good news in the Daily Mirror. Fat Cat payday. Chiefs have made their UK yearly average by today, so they can now stop working and go home. The typical Fat Cat boss will today have earned more money in 2023 than the average worker can expect to make all year in the United Kingdom. Happy New Year, everyone. There we are. That's good news for everybody. Paul Britton, leading criminal defence lawyer. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, going through the papers. It's much appreciated.
Thank you, James.
There we are now. Let's turn our attention to breakfast. I wonder if there's any news today.